everybody. Welcome back to my modern homestead. I'm Janet for those of you who are new here. I just want to go ahead and tell you tonight that we are going to be getting our collards ready. We just got home from the store and we went and got my nephew. He has been gone for over a year and he's back home and we're going to celebrate this weekend. He's staying with us all weekend. So I have 2 big bunches of collards and some dried black-eyed peas. We're going to get these ready to can tomorrow. Now, I have done these before on our blog, so if you want details of how I cut these up, I'll put the link up here in the corner. You can just click on that card and you can see that full video. It's really easy. It's kind of long, but we're also going to have some corn and some fried potatoes and onions. We're doing things Southern style. So, sorry, my son's walking through. So I hope you stick around and join us. We'll be back.
I began processing my collards by first washing them and then rinsing them. And then I will take them out and put them in a colander to let them drain. Now, as you will see in just a second, you will notice I cannot begin to even fit these into this one colander. Then I begin by cutting out the stem, and then I will cut the leaves in half and stack them in stacks. From there I will cut the stacks into smaller pieces, and the size doesn't matter, just whatever size you like will work. I just like stacking it like this. It makes it much easier for me. And that's it. Just put them in the pot until they're all done. And I think cutting fingers runs in the family. Alyssa was helping me and she nicked herself. It happens.
Alrighty, everybody, it is 9:45 at night. We are done getting the collards prepared. I just covered them with some water, and what we'll do is just leave them in the refrigerator overnight and get them ready to can up in the morning. All I need to do now is just sort our black-eyed peas, and we're going to let these soak overnight, and I'm also going to can these because you guys, these are so good once they're canned. They're perfect. All you have to do is warm them up. These are the cleanest black-eyed peas I've ever handled. Sorry, I've got this bowl to you backwards, or you know what I mean. It's too late to try to think. Right. Now, we'll cover these with 1 or 2 inches of water and just let them soak overnight. And you guys, I just leave mine on the counter. I never refrigerate mine. Never have. There we go. When we get up, they'll be ready to can. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. We are back. Pardon my wet hair. Yes, I've already pulled it back because I shed like crazy. So I'm getting ready everything to can this morning. And one thing I always like to do is to check my book, even though I think I remember everything correctly. My book has proven I don't. I thought my black-eyed peas, sorry, Mac is making Alyssa go all behind camera. She's trying her best to focus. But I thought my black-eyed peas needed to be canned for 75 minutes in pints, but this says 40 minutes for quart, pints for 40 minutes and quarts for 50 minutes if I raw pack them. Now I've already soaked them, but my collards need to be canned for 70 minutes. I didn't really want to can my black-eyed peas that much longer than my collards, but I only did 1 pound and I'm not running a whole canner load just for those few peas, so I'm just going to have to over process these and hope for the best. I've done things like that before. It works okay. It's one jar, one thing just gets over processed, but it's black-eyed peas, y'all. Here in the South, we cook them to mush anyway. I think they'll be fine. So let's get everything ready. I got the collards on the stove where I had them in the refrigerator all night, coming up to room temperature this morning. Thank you, Alyssa, for my coffee. So I have them in water. So what I'm going to do, come up, baby. I have them in water. So we're going to turn these on and let them begin to boil. And when they're done doing that, we'll drain the liquid off. All right, we have the collards going. I've got my jars in a canner. So I'm going to take the black-eyed peas because we're just raw packing these. All I'm going to do is drain the liquid that we have on them from last night where we soaked them, and then we'll get them in jars. All right, let's get these in jars. We will leave a 1-inch headspace, and we're not going to pack these. Just do a loose pack. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what this noise was. It was strange, and I just realized Jake and my nephew are out by the road getting the big trucks to honk their horns. And that truck sounded like a freight train. Okay, I think I've been doing this too long. I got out exactly the right amount of jars. I've got to get the stuff in the jars. I'm actually going to put better than beef bouillon in here and some water. Let me get that real fast. This is what I like to use in my black-eyed peas and my collards. This is what I've always done. Hate to use my finger, but, and I only use a little bit in a pint, just about that much. This is a teaspoon. All right, now let's put some water in it. Again, we're going up to 1-inch headspace. Oops. Just taking a plastic fork and going around the jar. Laura, see, I do debubble.
Millie, no.
I taught Laura how to can, and she messaged me one day. She said, "You didn't debubble so-and-so, whatever it was I was canning." And I got tickled.
No.
I said, I'm a little bit of a rebel sometimes. I don't always debubble, but stuff like this I try to if I have time. And don't forget, because it really is important. All right. Now, if any jars need to be adjusted, you add more water, but I think we're good. All right. So now, let's wipe the rim of these jars. And we'll get a flat on them. Maybe they're stuck together. One. In a ring. Finger tight. And push down, and when that jar starts turning, it's tight enough. So these are ready for the canner. Let's do the collards. Okay guys, see those bubbles? It is boiling, so we're going to set the timer for 3 minutes. And when those 3 minutes are up, we will drain. Alrighty, let's get these, can't see, hold on, let me take my glasses off. Let's get these drained. I have my towel here to, a couple reasons, to catch liquid and to keep my pan from getting scratched. Got my colander in the sink. We'll just let them drain. Try not to burn your arm, this pan's hot. You can probably also hear the kettle. We're getting hot water going to fill the jars with. That's good enough. We'll just put these few leaves in here. Ooh, that's hot, be careful. So what we do at this point is take tongs and pull the collards out and fill your jar to 1-inch headspace. You don't have to pack these down real tight. In fact, your instructions tell you not to pack them in real tight. But I don't want to do them super loose anyway. I mean, either. Just lightly tapping. Just a few more. And done. Fill them up to 1-inch headspace.
What do you want me to do with that?
Okay, while I'm doing this, I just want to tell you that the way people in my family eat, 1 quart jar is about enough for 2 people. And for our black-eyed peas, 1 pint jar is enough for 2 to 3 people. So if I'm having a big family gathering like I do on Christmas or Thanksgiving, I make sure to have enough quarts that I have 1 for every 2 people. And if I have leftovers, that's fine. These freeze wonderfully even after you cook them. I mean, warm them back up to serve, because that's all you have to do. Once you get these canned, all you have to do is warm them up. And you guys, the way I season them with the Better Than Beef bouillon, you don't even have to put anything else in them. They are perfect, I promise you. So no fat at all. Now I usually wait until November, December to can collards for New Year's. And then that way I have them ready for Thanksgiving in the next year. But for whatever reason, I am just craving real food, just Southern food. So I said, well, if I was going to have to spend all day cooking these collards anyway, and all day cooking the black-eyed peas, it was just going to take care of itself in the canner, save me a lot of time and effort, and that way I have leftovers already ready to go for either Thanksgiving, Christmas, or New Year's, because we don't always have this on Thanksgiving or Christmas. It just depends on what we're doing for the year. I think I have enough for 1 more jar. And we actually found, or remembered last night after I was done getting everything prepared for the canner, we were sitting in the living room and my kids said, uh-oh, they have a youth function tonight, so they're not even going to be eating. It will just be Cowboy and me tonight. And that's all right. That will just give me extra jars for later in the year. And they'll have a good time. All this work will not go wasted. I'm still super excited to be able to get it done. I love having both of these on the shelf anyway, so it'll be great. There we go. Now this jar is not quite as full as the other jars, but that's perfectly fine. Better to be a little under full than over full. Okay, again, we're going to take the better than beef bouillon and add a little to a jar. I add more to my quart size jars. I hate banging that metal spoon on that glass jar. All right, now we have hot water that's been heating in the kettle. So we will pour hot water to 1-inch headspace. Remember, the more slowly that you pour it, the less adjusting to your headspace you will have to do when you're done. Let's get these in the canner. They're all done. All done. Let's get the lid on. Up just a hair, and we're going to let this vent for 10 minutes. Once steam starts coming out of this, that is venting. So at that point, you will set the timer for 10 minutes. Okay, the canner is going. Because of the collards and the quarts, I had to do 90 minutes. There's old Cowboy back there. He's eating lunch. Hi, honey. Oh, my goodness. There's the child. Cowboy's getting the smoker ready to go. We're going to smoke the chickens in just a little bit. Actually, I think what he's doing is getting it ready for the sausage. He's going to smoke sausage first. And when we're closer to ready to eating, I'm so sorry. When we're closer to time to eat, I'm going to make cornbread. It's the first one I've seen this year. Oh, we got the chickens here. I thought you were doing sausage.
Well, I ain't put them on yet. I was going to let the chickens cook a little while.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the chickens later. What's up, Cowboy? All right, the canner just turned off. So, we'll just let it cool down and take the jars out. There we go. There. I've got the hiccup. Sorry, they're all done. All right, Cowboy says they're done. Let's see. Got it? Need some help? Ooh, look how pretty. He's got the sausages done. Oh, that one's gonna fall off, baby. It's gonna fall. That's a big old bird, baby. We did that. Those are our chickens that we grew. That one's a little one, but the other one was big.
I'm going to stick it in the breast.
Oh.
I don't like it stuck right there. I don't like that.
Look, that's... Hi. Matt, get out there. It's hot. All right. Last part of supper is to make the cornbread. We've done this before, but for those of you who are new here, this is just a recap. The first thing I do is take my cast iron skillet and grease it really, really well. That's the secret to cornbread, guys, is your cast iron skillet. And in order to do a good cornbread that doesn't stick, you have to grease it. I use just a shortening. And there we go. That's what it looks like, all greased. And then we can start on the cornbread. The first thing I do is add 2 cups of cornmeal. 1, 7, 8. Now this is not a pure cornmeal. This is a cornmeal mix, and I like the buttermilk mix. And to this, I add a good amount of shortening, the same kind that we use for the skillet. I don't measure. I'm going to cut back just a little bit. I can always add more. I just cover it with the cornmeal and work it in with my hands. Always start with good, clean hands. I've always made my cornbread with my hands. Just a Southern cook, you guys. And this is the way we do it. Well, those that were taught this way, this is the way we do it. Just a little bit more. What I had to begin with would have been just fine, but you can always add, but you can't take it out. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So there we go. Now before I add my egg, see how it looks? Before I add my egg, I do like to go ahead and add a little bit of milk and start the mixing. I like to use a whole milk. I don't use a buttermilk. All right, let's add in 1 egg, fresh from the chicken. A little more milk. And just keep mixing until we reach the consistency that we like. Don't like it super, super thin, but you definitely don't want it thick. Make sure you get the bottom, get all that cornmeal off, and mix in. This should be just right. If you like your cornmeal mix thick, that would be just right, but we want it a little bit thinner. Might have added too much. But you know what? We'll still eat it. There we go. Now, we will just pour this, oh dear, into the skillet. Let me turn my oven on. We want it at 425. Alrighty. There we go. It's ready for the oven. So when it preheats to 425, we'll just pop it in for around 22 minutes. Just watch it until it gets good and golden on top. Cornbread is done. Now all we will do is just turn this out onto a plate. All right, we've got our plate. I'll just take it and voila. There's our cornbread. This lighting, I've lost it. It's getting late in the evening, but I wish you could see this cornbread. It's a lot darker than what it's showing on camera. That's hot. It's closer. So anyway, we put that knife there just to vent it so it doesn't get soggy. Some of the steam can escape. There we go. Our meal is all done. Ooh, we'll be eating good in the neighborhood tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You know I love it when you come and spend a few minutes with me. So until we meet again, may you be blessed. Mwah. Love you guys.